email chains and BlackBerry messages from 2007, from 2009, where Cassie is confessing her love to Diddy, or she is asking for a freak off, or she's, asking, about just more intimate details.
But also a little bit of jealousy. In that same email, she makes reference to wondering if maybe Combs should have went after her friend.
The trial of Sean Diddy Combs is underway, and on the stand for the second day is his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Her testimony has been nothing short of devastating, an emotional, graphic, and gut-wrenching account of the years she allegedly spent under the control of one of the most powerful men in music. Cassie has accused Combs of abuse, manipulation, and on day 2 of her testimony,
he said he saw Diddy at one point after an encounter Cassie by the hair from her computer seat all the way back to her bedroom while she was and screaming and after she apologized and came out, he said that Diddy said, okay, you guys want to continue, and he couldn't perform. And that was it. From there, he could not perform after that. And he saw Diddy Cassie 2 or 3 more times after that as well.
She opened up about one of the darkest aspects of her time with him, the so-called offs. She said these were not just wild parties. According to Cassie, they were orchestrated events, sexual gatherings that often lasted days and left her feeling disgusting and humiliated. With visible emotion, Cassie described how she was the one tasked with arranging the escorts, often reaching out to them herself. But it wasn't because she wanted to. She told the court that she felt obligated, that it was her job, and that if she didn't do it, she would be punished. That punishment, according to her testimony, often came in the form of physical violence. Prosecutors are painting a clear picture here. These weren't consensual acts, they were coerced, they were orchestrated, and they were allegedly fueled by intimidation, drugs, and emotional control. A key moment came when Ventura was asked about the now infamous hotel surveillance footage, where Combs appears to grab and assault her. After that incident, she described taking an Uber ride home, trying to hide her swollen face behind sunglasses. Photos were presented to the court, selfies showing a black eye and a busted lip. A binder containing over a dozen images, all documenting injuries that Ventura says she sustained at the hands of Sean Combs. According to Ventura, the assaults weren't isolated. They were part of a larger pattern. The prosecution argued that this wasn't just domestic abuse. It was part of a criminal enterprise. Remember, Combs is facing 5 federal charges, including trafficking and racketeering. Prosecutors are trying to prove that these weren't random incidents, but organized acts within a wider system of exploitation. And it wasn't just the violence. Drugs, too, were reportedly part of the coercion. Cassie testified that she was often pressured to take ketamine and other substances before or during offs. She told the court she needed the drugs to dissociate, to disconnect from what was happening to her. That's how she coped. She also shared that Combs would sometimes text her, planning the next freak in explicit detail. In one message from January 2016, he allegedly said he wanted to have a proper SFO, meaning an event without this time. Just people and control. And control is the word that keeps surfacing. Ventura described how Combs paid for the escorts. He picked the hotel rooms. He told her who to call, what to do, and how to do it. At one point in her testimony, she said she tried to avoid kissing the male escorts because it felt too intimate and made her feel squeamish. These weren't acts of pleasure, she insisted. They were humiliations. One of the most emotional moments came when the court learned that Ventura is currently 8 months pregnant. Defense attorneys requested that she be seated in the witness box before the jury entered the room, arguing that her pregnancy might prejudice the jurors. But the judge denied that request. And while Cassie did not play up her pregnancy, it was there, visible. And it was a stark reminder to the jury that they weren't just hearing from an accuser, they were hearing from a human being, a woman now starting a new chapter in her life, but still haunted by the past. Now, the defense has tried to frame Ventura as a willing participant. Their argument hinges on the fact that she arranged the offs, paid for the escorts, and stayed in the relationship for nearly a decade. They argue that she could have walked away, that she had options, that her continued participation proves it was all consensual. But the prosecution is challenging that logic. Their stance is clear. Just because someone stays doesn't mean they want to. Just because someone follows instructions doesn't mean they're free. They're pointing to the injuries, the texts, the photos, and the emotional breakdowns. They're arguing that this wasn't a relationship, it was control, a system built on fear, coercion, and manipulation. The jury will soon have to decide which version of events they believe. Was Cassie Ventura an equal partner in a wild lifestyle? Or was she a victim trapped in a cycle of power and abuse? One thing is certain, her testimony has shaken the courtroom, and as this high-profile case continues to unfold, the world is watching.